Hello everyone and welcome to Bhanzu classes. So I hope all of you are doing wonderful and are super duper excited for today's session where we are going to continue with the topic operations on rational numbers. So I hope everybody remembers that we had covered two different operations in the previous session, that is addition and subtraction. Remember? We can have two different concepts over here when the denominators are same or when the denominators are not the same. So how should we move ahead to it, right? But before that, let's see what are we going to learn in this chapter. In this session today is multiplication and division, the two different operations which we are going to perform on the rational numbers today. And let's get started with the first one, which is multiplication of rational numbers. So here we have our first question, which is minus 2 upon 3 into 2. So what is minus 2 upon 3? It's a rational number. What is 2? It's a whole number. So how do we perform this multiplication? Let's have a look at it with the help of the number line first of all. So we are going to start the jumps from 0 and reach the number minus 2 by 3, which is our given rational number. Now since we had to multiply it by 2, so I am going to take two jumps of the same distance and reach the product, which is minus 4 upon 3. So the answer to it is minus 4 upon 3. So we got this answer on the number line. Now what if you solve this question by the basic mathematical concept? Let's have a look at it. So whenever we have a rational number into whole number, so what happens? We get numerator upon denominator into whole number, right? Rational number is in the form of numerator upon denominator. So what do? We actually multiply the numerator by the whole number to get the denominator, right? So let's see in our previous question, what did we do? If we would have performed it with this concept. So minus 2 into 2, that is your numerator multiplied by the whole number upon denominator. So minus 2 into 2 is minus 4 upon 3. So can you notice we got the same answer? Yes. So whether you perform the operation on the number line or by this concept, you would get the same answer. So this is how multiplication of rational numbers goes on if you are multiplying it with a whole number. Now what if you multiply a rational number by a rational number itself? Let's have a look at it. So rational number is actually numerator upon denominator. So now we have two numerators and two denominators. So how do we get the product? Just multiply the numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. Right? So what do we do over here? Minus 2 into 4, which is minus 8, and 3 into 5, which is 15. So we get the answer as minus 8 upon 15. We get the answer as minus 8 upon 15. Right? We have multiplied minus 2 into 4, which is minus 8, 3 into 5, which is 15, and since they do not have any common factor, so it's the standard form of rational number what we got as the product. So I hope everybody is clear with how do we multiply a rational number with a whole number, and also how do we multiply a rational number with a rational number. So let's move ahead and solve some questions over here. So here is our first question for the day, where we have a rational number multiplied by a whole number. So what do we do in this case? We multiply the numerator with the whole number upon the denominator, right? So minus minus gets cancelled. So what do we get? We get 12 upon 5 as your answer. So this is the product of this rational number multiplied by the whole number. Moving ahead, let's do one more practice question where we have a rational number multiplied by the rational number. So what happens in this case? So here we have numerator 2 and minus 5, which should be multiplied by each other upon denominators, which is 3 into 9. So what do we get now? 2 into minus 5, which is minus 10, 3 into 9, which is 27. So what do we get? We get it as minus 10 upon 27. So this is how we get the answer to it. Got it? Great. So this was all about multiplication of rational numbers. Now before we move to the next concept for the day, that is division of rational numbers, let's recall a concept of reciprocal of a rational number. Do you remember what's a reciprocal? It's the rational number numerator upon denominator, which if we reciprocate it, what do we get it as? We get it as denominator upon numerator. So numerator takes place of denominator and denominator takes place of numerator. So let's have an example of it. So reciprocal of minus 2 by 7 would be minus 7 by 2. Right? So this is how we get the reciprocal. And do you know, if you multiply the given rational number by its reciprocal, we get the product as 1. Let's check it out. How do we get the product as 1? 7 into 7 gets cancelled, 2 into 2, and minus sign would be cancelled by minus. So we get the answer as 1. So even if you take 3 by 5, what would be the reciprocal of it? Its reciprocal would be 5 upon 3. Right? If I take 2 upon 9, its reciprocal would be 9 upon 2. So this is how we do the reciprocal, when numerator takes place of denominator and denominator takes place of numerator. Got it, everybody? Yes? But why did we suddenly recall the concept of reciprocal? Do you remember your division of fractions? Yes, there also we had to use reciprocal concept. So that is why before doing division of rational number, we had revised the concept of reciprocal. So how do we do rational number divided by a whole number? Now, if you remember, reciprocal is always to be done of the second number. So numerator upon denominator, division becomes multiplication and whole number would become 1 upon whole number. So if we have 5 upon 3 divided by 4, so what would happen? It would actually be 5 upon 3 multiplied by 1 upon 4. So division becomes multiplication and second number becomes the reciprocal. So reciprocal of any whole number is 1 upon whole number. Yes? Great. So now let's see if you have rational number divided by a rational number. So now you have a rational number in the second number also. So numerator upon denominator. But if you do its reciprocal, what would we get? We would get denominator upon numerator. And when do we get that? As and when the division sign gets converted into multiplication. Got it? So numerator upon denominator into denominator upon numerator. This is how you get your concept. So now moving ahead, division of rational numbers. So let's have a look at it. So minus 5 by 7 divided by 3 by 8. So what would happen? Minus 5 by 7, division becomes multiplication, 3 upon 8 would become 8 upon 3. So minus 5 into 8 is minus 40 and 7 into 3 is 21. So here we get our answer. So what did we do? Division became multiplication and second rational number became its reciprocal. So this is how we do division of rational numbers. So now it's time for us to practice a question where we have minus 6 upon 5 divided by minus 3 upon 5. So what should we do? Remember reciprocal. So reciprocal of the second rational number. But before that, let's copy the first rational number as it is. Minus 6 upon 5, division becomes multiplication and the rational number becomes now minus 5 upon 3 because it's the reciprocal of it. Now if you see, we can simplify it. How? By cancellation. So 5 and 5 can get cancelled. Since it's minus 5, so it would be minus 1. Right? And minus 6 and 3 would be minus 2 and 1. So what's the answer? Now minus minus can also get cancelled. So what do we get? So we get it as 2 into 1, which is 2 now. So this is our answer to when we divide minus 6 by 5 divided by minus 3 by 5. So whenever you have division of rational numbers, do not forget the concept of reciprocal. So now let's move ahead and summarize what all we had discussed in the session today. So we had talked about operations on rational numbers. So today we have finished all the 4 operations, that is including multiplication and division also. So what do we do in multiplication of rational numbers? Let's see. If we have 3 upon 5 into 10 by 6. So what can be done? We can simplify it first of all. 5 ones are, 5 twos are. 3 ones are, 3 twos are. Now 2 and 2 can get cancelled. So we are left with the answer 1. So isn't it interesting? So always try to simplify the numbers if possible, if they are common multiples of a number. Now what did we do in division? For division it's 2 upon 9, suppose divided by 4. So what can we do? This is an example of rational number divided by a whole number. So what does it become? 2 upon 9 division would become multiplication and 4 would become 1 upon 4. Now here also you can see cancellation is possible, simplification is possible. So 2 ones are, 2 twos are, and we are left with 1 upon 18. So this is how we get the answer to it, right? So this is how we move ahead with multiplication and division of rational numbers. So I hope now everybody is thorough with the topic addition, subtraction, multiplication and division of rational numbers. So in our next session, we are going to do lots of practice questions as we are done with all the topics of this chapter, rational numbers. So stay tuned, practice all the questions based on all the topics. Keep exploring and spark your curiosity till we meet next. Bye-bye.